that churches around people would come for the revival, and we'd go. If you want,
probably visited better then than do now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Daddy'd let us take the wagon with the mules and go to Liberty and Cool Springs and camp meeting.
You probably don't need this.
We went to Antioch because that's where the Rowarks had gone, and we went to Lumpkin County in Dawsonville because that's where the Latham had gone. And then I went and spent a week with Uncle Glenn and Aunt Helen and Glennice and Gordon and Francis, and went to Liberty for a week. And then I'd go to Sardis with I don't know who, but I went over there a lot in the summertime to their revival meeting.
Well, we had summer school then because of the crops. You had a short year and then you'd go to school in the summer. And they would let us go from Sardis School to Sardis Church to daytime revival.
Well, the teachers, some of them, I'm sure they didn't all go because there would be some children that wouldn't go to the service. But there were teachers that
carried us who wanted to go
in their service.
So that must have been what I was thinking about, but whatever.
We had to put some fun, I guess. I have to admit, the church wasn't all church. Sometimes it was recreation. Well, Mark was driving the wagon for us, and we were going to church. I think we went to Sardis that night. We would go up one night, maybe to Antioch, one to Cool Springs, and maybe over to Liberty. I'm not sure about Liberty because it may have been a little dangerous on the highway. But this particular night, I think we'd gone to Sardis. We was on the way back, and Mr. Bailey Martin could grow the best watermelons in the country and the biggest ones. So
I see where this is going.
Yes. On the way back, we stopped and got a watermelon. Now, they were careful not to step on the vines and destroy the patch. We were not out to destroy somebody's watermelon patch, but Daddy never did grow big watermelons much. But anyway,
Mr. Bailey could grow the biggest ones.
Whoa, Mr. Harry Martin grew big ones too. But on that particular night, we weren't far from Mr. Bailey's house, of course. Wasn't far from Sardis either when we got the watermelon. But I remember we just kept going down the road to eat the watermelon.
get the evidence gone before you got home.
I don't know if that was ever told our parents or not, but we ate the watermelon.
But you know, we did grow up appreciating other people, other churches, whether they were Methodist or Baptist. That was the only ones we were familiar with. And the first time I ever attended a vacation Bible school was when Preacher Morris, he was, quote, some kind of missionary, I guess you would call him.
Homer Morris.
Homer Morris was the, I guess he was the
associational missionary.
Associational missionary, but we didn't know anything about associations then. But I was a teenager and went up to Prospect and went to Bible school. And then he asked me and his daughter to go to Mercer University for a week, when a lot of other young people were there, and that I thought that was something because I'd never been out of Gainesville except to take Mark down to go into the Army. And that's when I said I hurt my finger because I went into school crying, and it was because they were taking Mark to his first going to the Army, and I was in first grade, and I was crying, and I said, well, I hurt my finger in the door of the car. Well, I did sort of, but you know. But Mama was, I think, tears are dearly. Mama never cried much. I never remember Mama crying much.
Nor testifying much.
No. She was very quiet, but she would just look at you. And I knew to stop talking or fidgeting back there, especially if I wanted to sit there and not have to come sit by her. So,
well, I have one more tale to tell. And it's to let you know that children back then did things they shouldn't do.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like our children do today. But with Daddy, Hayward, Mr. Howard Martin let Hayward Hammond have his old truck. They came to our house and picked up Mark and me, and we go to camp meeting. That was, we was going to camp meeting, good boys and girls.
At Antioch.
At Antioch. Well, we got there and Hammond said, Hammond, bless his heart, said, let's go to the movies. Mark, let's go to the movies. So, Hayward and I stayed at camp meeting. And there was somebody else with us, maybe some of y'all, but anyway.
Wasn't me. I wasn't big enough. Y'all wouldn't let me go with y'all.
They went to the left and went to town. They was going up Washington Hill, and Hammond says, Mark, look and see if that tail light's burning.
He falls out of the truck.
He goes back and he bends over and he looks, and down he went. Boy, just ruined the side of his head. They went on to the movies like nothing hadn't happened. Came back, picked us up, got home. We didn't know what to do for him. We needed dressing. Mom and Daddy had visited neighbors like they were always good at doing, and they came in, and there he was. What in the world have you done? He told them. He said, teach your lesson.
Mm-hmm. That's all we said.
Yeah,
They
Whipped
didn't
him
have,
right there.
yeah.
yeah.
Whipped him right there. You could
Just
do
by saying
something
that.
that
Yeah.
wasn't bad, but it wasn't according to their agreement.
He went back to the back of the truck and put his hands on the tailgate, and it just, it closed open. Boom.
But that was the thing. I don't ever remember being whipped by either one of them. I remember Mama slapping me one time to be sacked because I sassed. I don't know what I said.
Jane
that
and I
was
were
not
fussing over washing dishes one time. We lived up there where Mr. Watkins lived. We called it the Watkins place. And I always washed and she dried. So she took it on, she wanted to wash the dishes. Well, I was stubborn, I would let her. Boy, we was fussing. And Mama was expecting you. Okay, here she comes in there with that king. Woo! And boy, Jane never said no more about washing the dishes.
I didn't like to wash dishes anymore after that.
And they think they had it bad. I had to do it by myself, wash and dry. And Granny Jane too.
Now, why that happened that day, we don't know.
But
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Children are going to be children.
That's right.
No kidding.
I don't. But
Amen.
what I think of is they communicated with each other, church or home or wherever, with just a look, and you didn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
You didn't want them to just look at you like, that's not the way my girl would do, or whatever.
Right.
You know, they never yelled. I don't ever remember them yelling and fighting over anything.
Right.
They were just good folks, not perfect but good, and that valued church and honesty, and it didn't matter what it was about.
But not Telfield.
No, you just didn't, and just treat people right and share, and that's the biggest thing. Sharing at church, everything, their talents or whatever, and sharing with the whole community.
And the church did give to missions when they would come around and would ask for things, and you'd take produce and things like potatoes, and even Dad would take like a bag of cornmeal, because I always went and had it ground
There,
you know,
Bowling Mill.
down at Bowling Mill, and they gave of things like that,
Yeah.
and they picked them up and took them. I think it was a children's home.
I think
Oh,
now,
I
I do
believe
think
you're
I
right.
remember that.
Yeah, I've seen documentation on that.
That's what I was thinking. If we did
Yeah.
anything, it was the children's home.
Yeah,
After
some of the old
Mama
records.